Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gukarastvandakaro vai Rukarastannivartakah Andakara nirodhitvat Gururityavidiyate. Shrutismriti purananam Alayam karunalayam Namami bhagavat padam Shankaram lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. So we will recite the second verse. Sangasatsu vidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktat bhaktir dridhadiyatam. Shantyadif parichiyatam drudataram karmashu santyajyatam. Sadvidvanupasrupyatam pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam. Brahmaikaksharamadhyatam shrutishiro vakyam samakarnyatam. So, yesterday we saw how the student is asked to approach the teacher and then pray or request for the knowledge of Brahman, which is non-dual, which is also imperishable, to ask for this knowledge. And then he is asked that Shrutehe Shiraha Vakyam Samakarnyatam. May you very well listen to the sentences, to the Mahavakya of Vedanta. This is said. And yesterday we also tried to understand the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. How that this Vakya, that thou art, Tattvamasi, shows the complete identity between Ishvara and Jiva. Yes, definitely there is difference at the level of Upadhi, at the level of body, as far as the body or the personality here is concerned. This is called Upadhi. As far as that is concerned, this Upadhi is definitely limited. And Ishvara's Upadhi, which is Maya, which is the whole creation, is definitely limitless. There is difference there. But as far as the content is concerned, as far as the reality is concerned, both are same. There is absolutely no difference at all. How we saw that this sentence is to be taken not in its vachyartha, not in its direct meaning, but in its implied meaning. In lakshana, in lakshyartha, we have to take the lakshyartha. Lakshyartha means we have to take the implied meaning. Implied meaning means the vachyartha has to be dropped. Vachyartha means that I am the body. When you drop that part, the body part, the Upadhi part when it is dropped here, and also in Ishvara also the Upadhi part is dropped, then what remains? The Shruti or the scriptures point to the identity which is there in the consciousness or the Shuddha Chaitanya, which is the same at both the places. One consciousness alone is here in the garb of an individual, and the same consciousness is in the garb of Ishvara. Identity is not in the garbs along with the costumes, but identity is in the wearer, in the consciousness who appears here in a limited costume and appears there in the limitless costume. So identity is there. We have then, now see, this we are asked to listen to this sentence very intently, and then now we begin the third verse where Bhashyakara again says, reflect upon this, this sentence. So we will now begin the third verse. Vakyarthascha vicharyatam shrutishirah pakshas samashriyatam. Okay, I will break it into half. Dustarkat suviramyatam shrutimataha. Tarkonusandhiyatam. Brahmasmiti vibhavyatam aharaha. Tamaraha garvah parityajyatam. Deheham matirujyatam buddhajanaihi. Vadah parityajyatam. So, again, Bhashyakara says, here, as I said yesterday, now begins Mananam. Already Shravanam has taken place, but it is quite possible that there may be certain doubts. As we said yesterday, that this is such a statement which is not easy to accept immediately. So we have to think upon it. So Bhashyakara says, Vakyarthascha vicharyatam. May you reflect upon the sentences of the scriptures. Which sentence? Mahavakya. See, in Upanishad, there are two kinds of vakyas. Which are this is Mahavakya is one set of vakyas, and other one is Avantara vakyas. Mahavakya is the main vakya. There may be millions of sentences, but all of them have this message. Avantara vakya means intermediary sentences which have their tatparya, which are used to explain the Mahavakya, which are there to explain the Mahavakyas. But the main Vakya is Mahavakya. So all the Upanishads have one theme. Ek Vakyata. They have one theme. What is the theme? That there is identity or oneness between individual and Ishvara. So this is Mahavakya. Bhashyakara says, constantly reflect upon this. Because habitually, I may take myself to be this, first of all, intellectually also. Intellectually also we are not convinced. There may be difficulty that how can I be Brahman? It is alright for Shruti to say that you are Brahman. But I am not convinced. So, we think on the lines of what the teacher has explained. Who am I? Am I this body? See, always consciousness, understand, consciousness always comes or appears in the form of name and form. it expresses itself in the name with a certain name and form. Now, here the name and form is this upadhi. But because of the past habits, I take this body to be I. So I have to constantly ask myself, can I be this self or the truth or Brahman is that which is never changing, which is always the same, which is non-negatable, abhadita. When I take this body to be I, let me now examine, let me now see if this ever remains the same. See, this body was not there before a certain time. Before a certain time it was not there. If it was Atma, if it was Brahman, it should have been always there. It is not. This body was not there at a certain time, and definitely it will not be there after a certain time. Before birth it was not there, and after death it will not be. So this makes it very clear that this cannot be the Atma or consciousness. Why? Because there was a time when it was not there. And even when it is there, it is constantly undergoing changes. Constantly. Every second the body is changing. The cells are changing. Some or the other change is constantly taking place. This we find out, when we see our old photographs. Even the photographs taken 6 months back, immediately, people may not make out. But you make out what is the change. What is the decline? And send the photographs of the youth or you were so beautiful and so this and that. But yes, now this is the fact. So every moment this is undergoing a change. Lord Krishna says, Dehi nosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi. He says, oh Arjuna, what are you crying for? Oh, Bhishma will not remain. Dronacharya ji will not remain. He says, what will not remain is the body. Just as there is childhood, it comes and goes. Adolescence comes and goes. Youth comes and goes. Old age comes and goes. Similarly, dehantara praptihi. There will be another body which will come, and that will also pass through all the stages, and one day that will also go. But there is someone, something which doesn't, there is no change in it. It ever remains the same. What is that? It is unborn. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. It is never born. It never dies. It ever remains the same. In this manner, I look at myself, and every moment negate the thought, don't entertain the thought that I am this body. Body is not faithful to me. It is constantly changing. Okay, then mind is faithful at least. No, even mind is not faithful. The same mind which is constantly bothering me or is useful to me now is not available in deep sleep. If it was truth, it should not go away that time. It is not available there. The same body, the same food, everything that we eat, the same, we may have eaten a very, sumptuous food, lunch. And then we go to sleep, and then in dream again I am hungry. Right, you took so much of kheer and pakoras and everything, and moment you go to sleep, again you are hungry. And then there also in that dream kitchen you go, and again you sit to eat. Where is all that food gone? See, it is not immediately not available in another stage. In dream it is not available. What does that show? What does that show? Where did it all go? This body is not there. What I am trying to say, neither is this body, nor the mind, nor the intellect, none of this is faithful to us. None of this is permanent. They are constantly changing. How can consciousness or the truth be that? What is truth about me? I am. I exist. I shine. See, what is the inherent thing about me? When I say I am a child, then I am is the truth. Child part is something which is temporary. Then after some time I say I am young. Then I say I am old. In all this I am continues. What changes? The child, that youth, that old, that part changes. Even now I am speaking. I am a speaker. After some time I will say I am a eater. I am an eater. I am a sleeper. I am a walker. I am a talker. See, those things changes. What doesn't change? I. So, every moment we have the combination of two. Changeless and changing. Changeless part is I am. And that is Priya. That is Anandaha. Asti Bhati Priya. That is common about me. That is constant about me. Aham asmi sada bhami kadachinnaham apriya. I am. I always shine. Shine means what? Luster is coming out? No. Shine means I know that I am. See, I is never bereft of the awareness that it is. I am. These two are not different. Existence and consciousness. That I am, I know. How do I know? Because of consciousness. So that is always there. Plus what is constant about me? I am always dear to myself. I am always dear to myself, regardless of the condition of the body. Others may not like me, but there is never a single moment, as soon as we get up from the bed, nobody would like to see our sight. But we look at the mirror. We like every time we like to look at the mirror. Why? Because that constant love is there. Asti asmi bhami kadachinnaham ap. I'm never dislikeable to myself. I always love myself. This is the truth about me. Similarly, when I look at the creation, in creation also, what is common? See, there are 5 things. Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Rupa and Nama. You look at creation, everything but everything has these 5 aspects. This also is, this also shines, means makes itself known. This also is lovable in the sense that it is useful. Plus it has a name and a form. This also is, shines, it is also useful and it has a name and form. Now you can carry out this exercise with respect to every objects of the world, everything. Take into account each and everything. What will you find? That everything is, shines and is dear, plus it has a name and form. Now tell me, what is the difference between these two? Where is the difference in name and form? What is common? Asti, Bhati, Priya. That is common. Nama and Rupa, there is difference, definitely a difference there. Then, my Asti, Bhati, Priyam doesn't stop here. I may think that I means this much. But I is Asti, Bhati, Priyam, which doesn't stop here. It extends everywhere. It is the common denominator. It is the common platform on which all the names and forms are superimposed. Means all the names and forms are on this one, Asti Bhati Priyam. Ishvara also is a name and form, isn't it? Ishvara means Virat. Ishvara means omniscient, omnipotent. Isn't it a name and form? That is also a name and form. And what is the common over there? This is also Asti Bhakti Priyam and a name and form. There also Asti Bhakti Priyam, name and form. What is the difference? In the name and form, there is a difference. But what is common? Asti, Aham, Asmi. Everywhere I am. I am and I shine and I am dear. This is same. Where is the difference? See, we have never stopped to inquire into this. Never stopped to ask whether are my boundaries only this much? Body doesn't say that I am you. Does ever the body say I am you? It doesn't say. We have taken it for granted. Have you ever, understand, have you ever seen the self which is limited for you to conclude that I am a limited fellow? Have you ever seen a limited self, limited Atma right before you to conclude that I am insignificant? I am only this much. Have you ever seen? No. We have never seen. And still, and had we seen such a thing, then what would have happened? Atma would be the object of my knowledge and I would be the seer. Then what I see, what I experience is never I. What you experience is always different from the experiencer. What I see is something different. Not, it is different from me. The subject is different from the object. So if I had ever seen an Atma which was limited, then it would have been an object for me. You follow? But we never think like this. We never think. We just go on with the ignorance or notions. I am different. I am insignificant. I am small. I am limited. Shruti here, by such statements, invites us to think. See, understand, the bondage is only avichara siddha. Bondage is nothing but wrong thinking. Bondage is nothing but wrong thinking. And liberation, mukti, is nothing but right thinking. As simple as that. Right thinking. What do you mean by right thinking? Thinking in the lines of the scriptures. That is right thinking. So, when I think of Ishvara and myself in this way, what I call I and what I call Ishvara, when I think, then I find that it is only the notions and wrong thinking which has led me to conclude that we are different. Actually, there is no difference between me and this body also. This thing also. Everything is one. Difference in Nama and Rupa, but not in Asti, Bhati, Priyam. In this manner, when we think, we have to this is called Mananam. Mananam means reflecting. Only then and then the Shravanam will become, Mananam is nothing but extension of Shravanam. Shravanam is the principal thing. Principal factor, principal means of knowledge is Shravanam. But Mananam and Nididhyasanam are supplementary to that. That is called Angi, and these two are Angas, limbs. That is main, and these two help in that, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So here, by this, Bhashikara is talking about Mananam. Then he says, Shruti Shiraha Pakshaha Samashriyata, which means follow the line of argument of the Shruti. Shruti Shiraha. Shruti Shiraha again. What does it mean? Vedanta. Shrutehe Shiraha. The head. of the Shruti is Vedanta. So may you pakshaha, may you samashriyata means samyak ashriyata. May you very well take refuge or take resort to the paksha. Paksha means view or contention of what? Of Shruti. May you very well take the, may you very well resort to the contention or the vision of the scriptures. Whenever you again fall back in the old rut of thinking, how can I be body? Then you remind yourself, rather than saying, how can I be body? Say, how is it ever possible that I can be a small body? Because Shruti says that you are Brahman. So always start with Shruti, not with your intellect. Always start with what Shruti has to say, not the vice versa. We start with our intellect, no, my mind says this. And let me see if Shruti says the same thing. If scripture says the same thing as what my mind says, then I am ready to believe. But then again it will be corroborating your ignorance. It will be confirming your ignorance. So what we have to do is not give validation to what my mind or intellect says, because it is not pramanam. I begin with what the Shruti has to say. That is, in that sense it is said, Shruti shiraha pakshaha samashriyata. May you always resort to the what Shruti has to say. My mind says everything is different. Duality, what I perceive, is that everybody is different. So duality is real. Whereas what does Shruti say? No. Shruti says that in fact everything is born of Brahman. It is in Brahman. It goes back to Brahman. Just as the bangle has come from gold, it is in gold and it will go back to gold. So what is this? Gold only. Where is the bangle? There is in fact no bangle. In fact, why? Because had there been a bangle, then I will take the gold, you take the bangle. Clean. If you insist upon saying that no bangle is there, okay, then I take the gold, you take bangle and chain and earring and whatever you want. This happened, no? When Swamiji, Pujya Swamiji was invited for Bhiksha once to a jeweler's house. Then at the end of the Bhiksha and everything, then he took Swamiji to his showroom and then showed him everywhere different and varied ornaments, multiple. All the walls were covered with so many ornaments everywhere. And then he was the jeweler. He said, Swamiji, now I want to give you something. So he took one chain and said, this is my dakshina. Dakshina to you, Swamiji. Please take this. Swamiji said, I want gold. What do I want? I want gold. But he did not understand. So he took another chain. He took golden wristwatch, golden one. And he gave it to, he said, please, maybe this will be useful, or maybe Swami has become greedy now. So he took one more thing and gave it to Swamiji. Then what did Swamiji? I said, I want gold. Now, if he gives gold, where will be the ornaments? So, if bangle or chain or earrings had an independent existence separate from the gold, had the bangle been a different thing, it would remain when I take away the gold. Will it remain? No, because You may feel here, Bengalness is here, here. Oh, everywhere there is no Bengal. This is also gold. I touch gold. I feel gold. And if the Bengal was there, you can keep it. I will take the gold. There is nothing other than gold. Bengal is only here. Vacharambhanam vikaro namadeyam. Shruti says, Chandogya, very important thing. Vacharambhanam vikaraha. The change is, the vikara, the name and form, merely rests on the lips, merely rests on the speech. What is Satyam? Satyam is only the substance, gold or clay. In this example. Similarly, substance is only consciousness. Sat. Sadeva Satyam. Whenever my mind says, no, all this is real, this my enemy is real, I cannot but hate him. See what he has done to me. But then go one step behind. Overlook that and go one step behind. Who is that? Who is that? Oh, Swaminiji, it is easy for you to say, but I have lost my job. Will I not feel sorrowful? Who has lost the job? Has anything happened to I? Is really everything different? Because Shruti constantly says, Ekam eva dvitiyam, Ekam eva advitiyam. There is nothing like Brahman, there is nothing opposite to Brahman, and in Brahman there are no internal differences. Udaram antaram kurute atatasya bayam bhavati. Even if you see slightest of duality, you will be afraid. Mrityus samrityum apnoti. Person will go from one death to another death, means that the cycle of birth and death will continue if you see duality, because it is not a fact. In this manner, we resort every time, because mind will come up with these questions. So every time you knock them off by resorting to what Shruti has to say. You follow? But what about great acharyas? They have said so many things. Everybody doesn't talk about this non-duality. Sankhyas, you mean to say all of them are wrong? They are such great people. Kapila, Kanada, Buddha, Gautam Buddha, all of them were great people. But now where do we have to resort to? What Shruti says. They may be great, but they deviate from Pramana. What does Sankhya say? That Purusha and Prakriti are different. Atmas are many. He may be a great, Kapila may be a great man. But when they deviate from the Shruti, then we respect them. We bow down to them. But as far as the philosophy or the truth is concerned, we cannot go by them. Similarly, Bauddha say, what do they say? Shunyam is truth. Shunyam is, there is nothing, void, nihilism. That is truth. Have you experienced void? Have you experienced void? The person who says void is the truth. Nihilism, shunyam, there is nothingness. Are you nothing? Consciousness, which is I am, I always am. One who experiences that void, the experiencer of void is who? Is consciousness. He very much is. You follow what I am saying? He who says I experience void. How did you know that you experienced that? You were very much there. And that was, you were of the nature of knowledge. For you to know that I experienced, means you were very much conscious. So, you negate all these views. Charvakas, what do they say? Materialists, what do they say? There is nothing after this death. Once the life is over, everything is over. So, as long as you are alive, eat, make merry and be happy. Afterwards, who has seen anything? Who has seen? So enjoy. That means they take pratyaksha as pramana. What you see is the ultimate truth. What you see is very little. This way we have to think and then negate and not give pramanyam to all those other views. Even as I told you yesterday, as far as this Mahavakya is concerned, Tattvamasi, regarding that also, different acharyas have they've arrived at different interpretations of this main Mahavakya also. We say Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam, this Vakya Tat Tvam Asi is separated. Tat Tvam Asi. That is how we then interpret. What do they say, They take this Tattvam as one compound word and then try to unfold it. And they, because of their expertise in grammar and all that, then what is this dualists, Dvaitins, how do they interpret this? They break this word, having taken it as compound, and then they break it. Tasya Tvam Asi. You are his. His means what? You are a part of Ishvara. You are a fraction of Ishvara. See, the same sentence, if you do not take it as what the Shruti seems to say, Shruti wants to say, then it can mean this also. Then there are Vishishta Advaitins. They look upon this same sentence as Tasmin Tvam Asi. Tasmin Tvam Asi. You are in him. And champions, there are other champions who take, see the word is, Uddalak says to Shvetaketu, the sentence is like that. Sa Atma Tattvamasi. Sa Atma, that your Atma is all this, that thou art. That is what he says. So, they break this word as Sa Atma, A of Atma is taken here and they break it as Atattvam Asi. So, the meaning would be, you are not that. That is also what Acharyas interpret. See, all these can be the interpretations. But then how come Swamiji, how can we say only Tattvamasi, that thou art, an identity between them alone is right? How can we insist that? Even this can be true. But here we have to see, is that the Tatparya of Shruti? You already know that you are limited. And Shruti also says that already we know this. We have come with this ignorance that I am separate from you. I am different from all of this, and I am separate from Ishvara. Does anybody have to teach us this? And if after learning scriptures also we come to know the same thing, then what has scriptures contributed? Which Swamiji used to say, very beautiful, a very provoking story. He used to say that once upon a time there was one student who went to this non-dualist to learn. And then the teacher over there, the Swami, he said, you are Narayana. You are Narayana. The fellow was not ready to believe. How can I be Narayana? So he went away. He thought that this teacher, this person, this Swami doesn't know anything. Then he went somewhere else. Where did he go? To another ashram. That ashram was another Swami over there. And he was Dvaitin. He said, good, you came back. How can you ever say blasphemy? How can you ever say that you are Narayana? You are not Narayana. You are right. Good, you came back. I will now teach you. And then he started teaching him. For 12 years he taught him what? What? Dvaita. You are not Narayana. All grammar and everything. But what was the message? Principal theme? You are not Ishvara. You are not Narayana. He came back. And now he is convinced. So he decided, now I will have debate with that Swami. With Swami who tried to teach me that I am Narayana. I will go and talk to him. Now I am well versed to dispute. He went. Now by that time that Swami has become very old. So when he went there, that Swami said, that Swami was sitting in a barber shop. He was sitting there because his hair had grown very long and long beard and everything, and so he was very uncomfortable with that. So for years he had not shaven off all that. So he went to the barber shop and he was sitting there. And this fellow came. He said, I want to have Vada Bhiksha with you. I want to dispute with you. Swami said, wait a minute, let me finish off with this, then I will talk to you. Wait here. And then the name of the barber is Murari. He started shaving off. And then everything is shaven off. Everything is removed. And then Murari gave him the mirror. And then the Swami, after 30 years he has done this shaving. After how many years? 30 years he has done. And then when he looked at himself in the mirror, oh my God, I am so bright. I am so lustrous. I am so beautiful. Then he is telling to that Murari, oh Murari, you are Narayana. You are Narayana who gave me this luster. I never knew that I had this luster. So you are Narayana. And then this Swami got up from his chair and prostrated to this Murari. Murari was taken up. He was aghast. Hey, how can you? And he is telling to this other person, to this new Swami who has come to debate. He said, please stop him. Tell him I am not Narayana. So he says, yes, you are not Narayana. And then they both went and this Swami also went. Now he was getting ready for that dispute. So he went and took shower and came back. When he came back, the Murari is gone. And what he saw, this fellow who has come to have dispute has now come with a plate full of fruits and everything and garland and everything. And he immediately felt, he said, now I know. What? That I am Narayana. Why? Because without knowing, that Murari knew. What did that Murari know? I am not Narayana. And that is what I went to learn from the teacher for how many years? For 12 years I went and I came to he taught me I am not Narayana. And that thing this Murari knew without going anywhere. So, it cannot be true. This is a story, by the way. But what it means, Shastra has something unique to give you, which you can never think on your own. Which you can never even imagine. Can we ever imagine that I am full, complete? Then if the Shastra says the same thing, that you are incomplete, what has Shastra done? I need not waste my time. So, in this manner, Shruti Shiraha Pakshaha Samashriya, always resort to what Shastras have to say. Because that is the valid source of knowledge. Not what my intellect says, not what Pratyaksha says, not what reasoning says, but give Pramanyam to this. Then, to do this, Dustarkar Suviramyatam. Dustarkar Suviramyatam. So, may you always refrain from Dustarka. Dustarka means, Suviramyata means refrain from what? Dustarka. Dustarka means distorted thinking, distorted reasoning. Dusta means dushtaha. Tarka, this distorted reasoning is really, semblance of reasoning. There is no reasoning over there. It is just an appearance of reasoning. Dustarka means mind tries to prove that what I am thinking, what I think, what I believe in alone is right. See, most of the time when ego is very strong and you have strong preconceived notions, then you are not ready to shake them off. You are not ready to do. And when Shruti and teachers tell you something which is different from that, then you get hurt also. people feel dismissed. Why? Because Shruti is saying something which is against what you think. And when that is dismissed, you feel you are dismissed. When your notions are dismissed, the person who is strongly identified with that will feel, I am dismissed. It is hard for the ego to eschew this. And therefore it continues to hold on to its views and even present arguments. This is called dustarka. Like many times we hear, now this is a very sensitive thing, that all the religions say the same thing. Many times we hear this argument. Everybody says the same thing. Just as, then they give the tarka, then they give reasoning. What reasoning? Just as, when you want to go to a temple, all the paths take you there. You can go from this side, you can go from this side, you can come from that side. All the paths lead to the temple. Then, this is dustarka. Then what we have to say? Yes, they may lead to the temple right, but as far as the shrine is concerned, as far as the main shrine is concerned, the door leading to that shrine is what? Just one. The door or the entrance leading to that shrine where Lord Krishna is, or Bhagavan, Lord Shiva is one. Whoever is just one. So just because they say all the paths are one doesn't mean that it is correct reasoning. Yes, it can be right if they talk from one Upanishad and then another Upanishad. Then Upanishads, if they say, no, Isha, I follow Isha. But then Isha and Kaina have same thing to say. All the Upanishads have ek vakyata. They convey the same message. But if they say, no, moksha can be attained only this way. By the path of Dvaita, by the path of this, that, then it is not correct. That is called dustarka. So, dustarka suviramya. May you refrain from that. Then which tarka? But we need reasoning. Mind requires reasoning to understand. What about the need? What about that need? Then Bhashyakara says, don't worry. If you do need reasoning, then Shruti itself provides reasoning. There is enough reasoning in the Shruti itself. Shruti is not saying that just gulp what I am saying. Accept. Gulp it. Just swallow it. No. It makes itself explicable. It makes itself intelligible to us by giving us reasoning. That is what Bhashyakara says, that Shruti Mata, in the fourth one, Shruti Mataha Tarkaha Anusandiyatam. Shruti Mataha Tarkaha. If you need reasoning, then resort Shruti Mataha Tarkaha. The Tarka, or the line of thinking that is given by Shruti, the viewpoint of the Shruti, take it as a reasoning. Shruti Mataha Tarkaha Anusandiyatam means dwell upon that. May you always follow the line of thinking which the Shruti gives. Not on your own, but follow the reasoning which the Shruti gives. Now understand very well. By reasoning, we cannot prove what Shruti says. It is not a proving logic. Because logic or reasoning is a product of our intellect. And intellect has never seen Atma. Atma is something, truth is something which is never perceptible. It is not objectified. And intellect can work upon something which it has seen. What its intellect sees something, and from that it infers. But first it sees, and then it infers. Now, as far as truth is concerned, has intellect ever seen it? For it to carry out a reasoning? So, reasoning or intellect on its own has no reach in the truth. Intellect is given to us to understand and to see this world. It is karana, instrument for that, not for the self. Because intellect itself is produced. It is like saying, that the grandson, when one day grandfather and grandson are sitting together and both of them are talking. Then suddenly grandfather went into past. And he said, when we got married, my grandfather is saying, when I got married, when myself and your grandma, in the wedding, so many people came. And there was so much of lunch and dinner. All this went off for 5 days. And dancing and music and what an event it was. Now that child is asking, why was I not there? Why didn't you invite me? Why was I not invited? How to invite you? You were not there. So you follow? Intellect is not there. How can it ever come to conclude? You follow what I said? When intellect is still not born, how can it know anything about this truth? See, it is consciousness which illumines the intellect, and then intellect can work. It is consciousness which illumines the mind, and then the mind works and sees the objects. How can this mind, which is because of the consciousness, working because of the consciousness, can see consciousness? You follow? That with binocular or telescope, I can see things outside. I cannot invert it and see myself. Is it possible? Similarly, with intellect you cannot prove, you cannot come to any conclusion regarding the truth. The truth has to be revealed by pramana, by Vedas. Yes, but Vedas give you a logic by which you can arrive, by which you can understand what Shruti has to say. You follow? Not prove, not arrive at, but it facilitates you to understand what Shruti has to say. Just as when I say, this is gold, then you may ask me, how come it is gold? Then I may explain right from the beginning. That first there was this gold, what do you call it? Bar, huh? There was that biscuit, gold biscuit, in the form of that, mere gold. And then it is broken into, how did this come out? How is all this gold? If there is a question, then I will prove this way. From that it was broken into two, and then a bar was made, and then a rod is made, and then different pieces are made, and all of it is joined. That is how this comes up. That is how this chain has come about. So I will try to show the whole process from the process by which gold became this bangle. That would be the kind of reasoning which will help me to understand how these ornaments have come about. Like that, in Chandogya Upanishad, this Shvetaketu has come back from universe, he is graduated, and he comes back, and he is quite arrogant, doesn't bow down and quite stiffen like that. So father is asking him, oh my child, have you learned that by knowing which everything becomes known? He's asking, father is asking to Shvetaketu. Oh my child, did you learn that and come? It shows, your behavior shows that you seem to know everything. But have you learned that? Knowing which everything, hearing which everything is heard, knowing which everything is known, thinking which everything is thought about. Did you learn that? The child say, Shvetaketu says, perhaps my teacher did not know that. My teacher, what do you mean by saying your teacher did not know? Sit down. Then he starts teaching him. And this is the proposition is for knowing, yena shrute, yena shrutam, ashrutam bhavati, yena ashrutam, shrutam bhavati, yena amatam, matam, avignatam, vignatam, knowing which, that which I have never heard of becomes heard of, that which I have never thought of becomes thought of. So that is the proposition or the knowledge which he wants to have. But then how to show him that? Then Shruti gives logic. What logic Shruti itself gives? That first there was Sat. First there was only Sat. Sadeva Somya idam agre asit. Then teacher begins to explain. What is the main thing which he wants to explain? Knowing one thing, everything will become known. See, this is what he wants to teach. This is his proposition. Then it gives the logic. What does Shruti say? There was a time when this creation was not there. It was in the form of Sat. Sadeva Somya idam agre asit. Idam sarvam. This entire creation was once upon a time in the form of only Sat, means existence. Then what happened? You follow? First nothing was there. This whole thing was in one form. What? Existence. Then what happened? Tadaikshata. Then that Sat determined, thought, I should become many. I should become many. And then it became first air, fire, and then if one by one elements came, tadaikshata, bahusyam prajayeya, I will become many. Then one by one elements came. And that is how the creation is made. So, that Sat itself became air, that air itself became fire, that fire itself became earth. And then the whole universe came about. So now who is there behind this entire creation? Sat or existence. That is the fundamental building block from where the entire creation has come about. So when you know this, what do you know? When you know this one Sat, what do you know? The entire creation. And then he says in them, that is you. Sa Atma Tattvam. That is how this Vakya comes there. But this is the logic. Teacher himself provides the logic. How everything is one. Everything is one because everything has come from this one. You follow? This is called law. This kind of logic, Shruti itself gives you. Be in that line. In that case, you will come to understand. So with this, the Mananam has come to an end. As I told you, with Shravanam, which obstacle goes? There are 3 obstacles to knowledge. Avaranam. Veiling. Veiling means ignorance. I don't know what is my true nature. That goes by Shravanam, listening to the words of the Upanishad, and that to Mahavakya. That goes. Okay? Then with Mananam, what goes? There may be still doubts in this. So that goes by reflecting, Mananam. Now still something remains. If it doesn't remain, then fine. But if it remains, what remains? Viparyaya. Viparita bhavana. Viparita bhavana in spite of all the listening. In spite of all deliberation, thinking. But still, I continue to have the notion that I am this body. Maybe when the Shravanam is going on, I may be free of that. But immediately, as Swamiji says, when moment we wear the chappals, Again, this comes back. I am this, I am so and so. I am limited. I am small. This comes. This will not go on its own. This is called Viparita Bhavana. Habitual errors. Because for past so many lives, not one, just one life, Anadi Mayaya Supta. Anadi, from beginningless time, this ignorance has been there. It has become very strong. 15th chapter says, Ashwattamenam Suviruda Moolam. This tree of samsara, of ignorance, has become very strong. It will not go that soon. So, what we need to do is Nididhyasanam. So now begins that. Nididhyasanam means constantly I sit back and give myself the quality time. In fact, it is appointment with myself. I carry out or I give an appointment to myself to see what? That I am this and I am not that. Naiti, just as Bhashyakara does in Nirvana Shatkam. Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittani, Naham. Then what am I? Chidananda Rupaha, Shivoham. This is what now begins in the last two lines. What it says? Brahmasmiti vibhavyatam. Brahma asmi iti. I am Brahma. Iti. In this manner, constantly or always vibhavyatam. So what is the translation give? Entertain constantly the thought, I am Brahma. May you constantly have this thinking, I am Brahman. This is not japa. This is not japa. But behind this is understanding as we have carried out. Constant, because we have been, without effort, we take ourselves to be body. Without effort, we take ourselves to be this personality. So now that habit has become very strong. So now I have to replace it by forming a new habit. What habit? I am Brahman. I am Brahman. It is not brainwashing, but it is telling myself the truth that this is my real identity. I constantly do this. Constantly maintain a sajatiya vritti pravaha. Same thoughts which have the same content. Constantly that flow of thought is maintained. I am Brahman. I am Brahman. I am Brahman. In whatever we do, we may be doing so many things, but in one corner of the mind, this is placed. What? I am Brahman. Body is working. Body is doing this. This is doing. I am Brahman. So, I replace the notion I am body, dehoham, with the new fact about me. What? Not new, but that which I have come to know, I am Brahman. That has to be replaced, and this has to be, means that has to we have to let go of that and take this. For that we need to do Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam means a real sitting with myself. Bhagavan says, Yogi yunjita satatam. A yogi constantly sits with himself and thinks about the nature of the self. That is what Bhashyakara is hinting at by saying Brahmasmi iti vibhavyatam. May you constantly think that you are Brahma. Then again the same thing is repeated. We will see tomorrow. Keep this in mind, and then every day, ahaha, garvaha parityajyatam. Give up notions, give up pride. We have pride. I am wealthy, I am a scholar, I am this, that. All this may you get rid of. The I notion in the body is also to be given. Dehe aham matihi ujyatam. May you give up the I notion, dehe ahammati. I notion in the body. And lastly, may you stop arguing with wise people. This we will see tomorrow. Okay. This is the same thing, but we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।